News 4 Jax begins right now with a Weather Authority alert.
A Weather Authority alert day. Much of the rainfall has calmed down for tonight. Here's a live look at our Exact Track radar. Rain has been a problem in our area since the start of the week.
And we're going to show you the roadways from our Storm Track 4 drive cam. Our photographer Riley Story has been out patrolling some slick roads. Riley, where are you now? How has it been out there?
Hey, good evening, Kent. I'm currently on US 17 northbound, just north of Palatka. It's drizzling right now and has been for quite some time, but because we haven't seen a lapse in rain today, the roads are still quite wet. I've been in Storm Track 4 since 10 o'clock this morning looking at storm and storm damage conditions. I've seen multiple vehicle crashes today, and I saw ponding happening earlier on I-95, which can cause hydroplaning. So if you must be on the roads this evening, drive with your headlights on and your hazard lights off. Remember, that's Florida law. Kent?
All right, thank you, Riley. John Gahn standing by right now as well for us. John, current wave of wild weather looks like it's over, but now what are we looking towards when it comes to Thursday?
Well, Thursday, a totally different day, and that's for sure. We're going to have sunshine and breezy conditions, but Riley was down there and made a very good point. So many people get in the blinding rain. Oh, I'll put my hazards on and keep on driving. No, that's breaking the law. Keep the hazards off. Only when you're parked on the side of the road can you fire them up. There's a next big batch of rain. It's down the south of us, and we're going to track this for a number of hours, and it will stay south of town. I think Duval, north, we're done. I'll show you more in a moment. Heaviest downpour right there near Waldo, just north of Keystone Heights, right along Blanding. And this is going to continue to race on off towards the east. And I think it'll get all the way out here towards the St. Johns River. There's West Decoy. And so southern parts, extreme southern parts of Clay, and the northern parts of Putnam County, we'll see that little heavy downpour there. Back to a bigger picture, you can see this big blob of rain extending from Ocala all the way out there towards the Gulf Coast. That area of rain will continue to head east, northeast. It's more of a east with a slight drift to the north. So from St. Augustine all the way down to Daytona Beach, you folks, and that includes all of Putnam County, Flagler County, southern St. Johns, southern parts of Clay County, you're going to continue to see light to moderate showers at first and a decent downpour that'll last for about 30, 40 minutes. But when we start looking at the rain tallies, those tallies here won't be huge. This sun does come out tomorrow, and I'll just give you a brief overview here of what to expect. Sunny skies, breezy conditions. Winds will be up to around 30, 35 miles an hour right along the coast, maybe a gust of 40, downtown 25 to 30 miles an hour. But then the showers begin to return on Friday, and then we get another decent batch of rain in here on Saturday. Some heavy downpours will be back in the forecast. The pattern of heavy rain has been broken for now, but we're likely to see bigger rains in the forecast over the next 10 days. We'll talk about that coming up. Joy?
Alrighty, John, thanks. Now, folks, we do want to show you some of the damage these storms caused today. Here's a look at the Biscayne Downs subdivision on the north side. Several homes were damaged. We spoke with one man who says he was just about to leave his home when the storm was passing through.
I was sitting in the car on my way to work, and I just saw stuff begin to fly. I was just on the two wheels on the driver's side. The entire passenger side lifted up, and then it dropped.
Williams says it sounded like a train coming through and that he has never been through anything like it.
We also want to show you DOT footage of an overturned semi-truck. This happened on I-95 near Lem Turner. The driver was taken to the hospital, and that person is expected to be able to recover from the injuries. All southbound lanes were closed. They have since reopened. Now stay ahead of the storms with Futurecast on the Weather Authority app. Select the live radar and click Futurecast layer and find out if the rain is going where you're going. Search WJXT for the free app. It's in your Apple or Android app store.
A live look for you now inside the Rose Garden at the White House. The Coronavirus Task Force is giving its daily update on the national response to COVID-19. President Trump started out by saying that tomorrow he will release guidelines on when the country will reopen again. We're going to move on now to more news of the day, but if you want to watch the rest of the briefing, you can head to news4jax.com where we are streaming it in its entirety.
Millions of people across the country are seeing more money in their bank accounts today. The IRS sent out stimulus payments. As Karen Caifa explains, though, there are some who may have to wait before seeing that coronavirus-related cash. Karen?
Yeah, absolutely, Kent. And today we are getting another figure that shows just how anxious Americans are about the economy. Today, the retail sales number for the month of March down 8.7%. That is the steepest drop that has taken place month to month since the government started keeping track of it in 1992. Economic concerns weighing heavily on the minds of Americans right now. And that means they've stopped down spending on everything but the essentials. In the past 3 weeks, nearly 17 million Americans have filed for unemployment.
We've gone through all of our savings.
Many still waiting for financial help.
We had to contact all of our creditors and tell them that we weren't able to meet our obligations right now because there's absolutely no money.
The Internal Revenue Service started sending out stimulus payments this week, and about 80 million people can expect the money to hit their bank accounts by Wednesday. But it will take longer for others before cash is in their hands.
My business needs a direct cash infusion.
Kelly Conklin applied for the Emergency Small Business Lending Program, but still has not heard back. He and others may be waiting for a while. The Small Business Administration informing Congress that the crucial program to help businesses survive the coronavirus-related crisis will likely run out of funds by Wednesday. In order to get more money into the program, Congress must reach a bipartisan deal. But lawmakers aren't expected back to Washington until next month. Still, some businesses have seen benefits since the program began about 2 weeks ago. The agency has approved more than 1 million loans.
I was able to tell my employees that we received money as well. And so that really took a lot of stress off of them. And it just meant everything to get this money.
Karen, can you tell us a little bit more about those retail numbers that were released today? Do they give any indication about what may happen when the economy reopens?
Yeah, it means that retailers are going to be eyeing these very closely throughout and could be in some trouble, Kent. Now, obviously, grocery stores saw a surge during the month of March, up about 27% as Americans stock up on the essentials that they need. But anything else beyond that, any discretionary spending, areas like sporting goods, furnishings, and especially clothing and apparel, they saw the steepest drops that they have seen ever. And so we are starting to see a widening gap now between those big box retailers like Walmart and Target that have been able to sustain themselves on Americans stocking up on essential goods, and the specialty apparel stores and department stores. We're talking names like Nordstrom, J.Crew, JCPenney that were already in a bit of trouble before the pandemic began. They've been sending their consumers and their customers emails with deep discounts on online shopping, but it is unclear whether they will be able to weather the pandemic storm. And of course, Kent, with that store success, also rides the jobs of thousands of American retail workers. It's certainly something to watch as Americans think about when recovery may start to take place.
Yeah, whether we work in one of those jobs or not, very important to all of us. Karen Caifa in Washington, D.C., thank you.
The governor of New York is enforcing new requirements for its residents. If someone there is in a place where they cannot maintain proper social distancing, they have to wear a mask or a cloth that covers their mouth and nose. This is set to take effect in the next 3 days. Right now, there's more than 202,000 cases of coronavirus in New York. Governor Andrew Cuomo does acknowledge progress has been made in fighting the virus, but he says he doesn't want to see people letting their guard down.
You see flattening of the curve, all these new expressions that we never used before. Plateau, flattening, rounding. Net change in hospitalizations, down. That's good news. Little reality check. You still have, on a day-to-day basis, about 2,000 people who are being diagnosed with COVID. So we're out of the woods. No, we're still in the woods. The good news is we showed that we can change the curve.
Cuomo believes the mask will be part of a new normal in New York. He wants to gradually reopen businesses in the state, but he acknowledges the crisis won't be fully over until a vaccine is made.
I want to get you updated on our latest local numbers. There are 746 cases in Duval County, Alachua County nearing 200 cases overall, and St. Johns County has 178. We're learning a third person in St. Johns was killed by the virus overnight. And covering Clay County, where some much-needed help is on the way. The state is sending an incident management team to the county. The director of emergency management says that they'll be on hand to help out at long-term or assisted living facilities.
We have a state incident management team that is now in Clay County. This state incident management team is made up of highly trained assets across Northeast Florida that are working for the state, and they're assigned to the Clay County Emergency Operations Center. This team currently is made up of 4 incident management team or 4 management team members, 21 nurses that are split up to assist in testing at various facilities, and 3 infectious control preventionists that again are around both Clay County facilities, but then they will also be working across Northeast Florida with the multitudes of our regions here in Clay County. This staff is working in our facilities and is assigned in facilities for the next 30 days.
Clay has 61 confirmed cases at long-term care facilities. That's the 6th highest total in the state. Now, frontline workers all across our area are putting their lives at risk in the face of COVID-19. They are working nonstop, sometimes without even thinking about a meal. So that's why News4JAX has launched this effort, Food for Frontline. It's a community-wide effort to help both frontline workers and local restaurants. To donate meals to Jacksonville area hospitals through Food for Frontline, you start by going to the web address on your screen, forthefrontline.news4jax.com. And if you're a restaurant owner who'd like to help distribute meals, there's also a form that you can fill out inside our story about Food for Frontline. It's on our website, news4jax.com. News4JAX continues following the latest details on COVID-19. We're going to have all the updates on our website, which we just told you about. And there you can find a number of useful tools, including how to check the status of your stimulus payment.
We're going to be helping
looking now at the White House Rose Garden in Washington, D.C., the coronavirus task force giving another update on the pandemic response.
President Trump says he's going to release guidelines on how the country will reopen. He's going to do that tomorrow. If you want to watch this update in its entirety, just head to our website, news4jax.com. And now we're going to take another look at our exact track radar. Rainy, stormy weather has been a problem for much of the day, but things have calmed down.
Yeah, however, more wild weather's ahead. After the break, John Gahn is joining us. He'll have more on what we can expect.